What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be spray painting the engine bay. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be working on the 240SX. So yeah, where we left off is we deleted all the holes that are in engine bay for safety. We stitch welded our chassis, as you can see, and it came out sweet. We did go down to bare metal a lot because of the brake lines leaking, which caused surface rust. So to combat that and prevent it from getting worse, we just went ahead and took it down to metal. We're going to paint everything out, and I want to show you guys what I got. I'm excited. Okay, guys, so I want to walk you through the products I got for this job. For sandpaper, go with 3M. It's been the best in my experience. It lasts longer, it works better, and I like all the products usually that comes from 3M. So go with a 180 grit and a 320 grit, wet or dry. Next up, we got body filler. Body filler, this is by PPG. I got 1 quart. It's Technifill, and that's DF, Delta F, as in Foxtrot 705. You're going to need a mixing board, some spatulas, and a hardener for that one, okay? And I got all this stuff from Temecula Valley Paints over here in my area. You guys can go to your local store, just type in paint supplier near me, and then call them up and see if they carry these products. For my wax and degreaser, very important, I went with the One Choice. I'm sure there's different ones. This is the one that they carry, so this is the one I got. This is my first time using a spray can version. Usually I have the one that's kind of like an acetone style container, but it should work just as well. And this is going to be plenty for the engine bay, the guy said. So basically you're just going to spray that down, and then you're going to wipe it down with a rag, and basically just hit everything with that degreaser, because you don't want any contaminants, waxes or oils or greases to get into your paint job, because that's going to mean that the paint's going to fail after you're done with it, and who wants to spend money just to have it fail? Alright, so take your time, degrease everything before you sand even. So for the paint itself, I went with a PPG paint. Alright, this is pretty cool. So this is a 2K spray can from Spray Max. Okay, and basically I go there and I say, hey, do you have paint samples? I want a white. I want it to look bright. So he gave me a bunch of samples. I picked the white I want. He mixes the paint, and then he puts that single stage paint into this can. And this can uses this red button up here on the cap. And then that goes on the bottom of the can. And you press it onto here. And then when you have it on a hard surface, you push down. And as soon as you push that down, what it does is there's 2 compartments inside this can. It punctures a hole through it, and then it allows the paint to actually mix with a hardener. So this is actually a 2-part paint, and it's really cool because it's basically what you use on an automotive application. Like if you were to use a regular spray can and you put it in a mixing cup and you mix it all up. This is basically pre-mixed, but it's separated until you hit that button. So that's really cool. I wanted to make sure I try something with the automotive quality, so it lasts longer than using, like, for example, a Rust-Oleum or something from like Walmart or Home Depot or whatever. I've done it before. It doesn't last long and it doesn't look as good. So I wanted an automotive finish, but I don't have the tools right now to do a professional job, and I hate paying people to do it. So for me, this was the way to go. Lastly, make sure you get a tack cloth, and that's all you're going to need to really get done your engine bay. If you don't have an automatic sander, they make a bunch of different blocks by Durablock. You can look these guys up. They make a lot of good stuff. But you definitely want to use a block on your sandpaper, because if you use your hand, you're going to end up wearing a groove into the steel, and you won't really notice it until after you paint everything and look at it. But use a block. It'll give you that flat surface to make sure your sanding comes out even. And then the last thing I don't have here right now because it's coming in the mail is going to be a primer. I'm sure this company has a primer too. I just at the time didn't know about them, and I ordered it already from Eastwood. But if you do check out Eastwood, they have a lot of the same kind of style products with the aerosol and the 2-part paint. So I have that coming in the mail today, and that is a polyester white high build primer. And it's the same style, it has the same 2-compartment deal, so it should still work just as well. With that being said, I think now we can go ahead and jump into prepping the engine bay. And real quick guys, here's a list of the part numbers. I will put this in the description, but you can see this is PPG paint, so you can literally go there of any color you want. Say you have an OEM color, a blue Porsche, and you want that color and you want to touch something up, you can go there and say, hey, I want this color in PPG and I want it in an aerosol can, and they will do that for you. So I thought that was super cool. And you can see here, total I spent on this setup was $106.61, and of course that's minus the primer. The primer should be coming in the mail, and I think that was $24 a can also, so add another $50 to that. You're looking at a $160 paint job on your engine bay, and if it's automotive finish, man, that seems pretty worth it to me. So, I mean, we're using high quality stuff. Hopefully it comes out high quality, or at least it's durable, because this is a track car. So, with that being said, let's dive into prepping this engine bay and getting it ready to paint. Alright, guys, so step one's going to be hit it with a degreaser, and then we're going to wipe everything down, get all the grease off before we actually start sanding everything. So real quick, I'm going to actually open my garage doors. I'm going to sweep all this mess up because, as you can see, we left a lot of debris from sanding the car down. So we're going to clean all that up. That way when we do get to spraying, and after we've already waxed and degreased everything, that dust isn't blowing onto the paint. Alright, so we're going to clean all that up now, make sure we have a clean floor. And then I'm going to go ahead and probably give it a little bit of water, so if there is any left over, it doesn't fly up. And then we can go ahead and hit it with our first step. I told you guys the primer's en route, and as I was cleaning up my garage, Eastwood delivered the goods. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we get. Okay, so here's the primer I got. It's a high build formula, self-leveling, minimal shrinking. I've heard if you're worried about shrinking to let it sit for like a week, but I'm not going to do that. But this stuff, as you... Alright, so all of our products are here. We got our polyester primer from Eastwood, our paints from 2K Spray Max, degreaser, body filler, everything to do that with, 3M sandpaper, and a block. So right now I'm wiping down everything I can with water, because there's like dirt in here still. You can see that, it's like dirt. All that right there will come up in your paint job later, because it'll blow out and get into the paint. So we got to go through and just clean everything with water, and then we'll go back and degrease everything. So do that now. Okay guys, quick tip, take off your windshield wipers. There's a bolt on top, and then there is 3 nuts here. Pull those off, that way you can go ahead and have less chances of debris blowing into your paint job. And that's going to make it easier to prep as well, so we can just mask off the windshield. I can clean all this up, and we can just spray the whole entire thing. One thing, check these areas for rust. If there's rust, you need to take that off first. And what I've done is I went through with a shop vac. I vacuumed everything I could, and then I went back with some water, just lightly spread water on everything, and then kind of just went and wiped it all down. There's still more dirt, so I'm going to keep doing that process, and I'm going to use my degreaser, degrease all that. As you can see here, there's still some more dirt, and that is going to blow up into your paint job, so you don't want that. So even though it's not where you're painting, it needs to be clean. Hyper clean everything, clean the bottom, clean your frame rails, clean everything. Clean the floor under the engine bay. That way when you paint it, you don't have dust blowing into your paint job. That is the biggest part of having a nice paint job, and that's why paint booths cost so much. So let's prep it as much as we can, and then we will move on from there. Okay, so one quick tip, take off your windshield wiper. That's just going to be one bolt on top, and then you can pop that off super easy, and that'll make everything easier to clean and mask. A second tip is I hit all this with a wire wheel. And anywhere else I saw rust, I just kind of hit it with a wire wheel. So do that before you get too deep into it. That way it's good to go. Like I know, for example, this bolt here is completely rusted on, and over here was the same. So just clean that stuff up. Like I said, windshield wipers are super easy. So take those off. That'll make it easier to mask all this off. Then we can mask off our windshield with some paper and masking tape, and then get in there, clean all that out. We're gonna wipe everything down with degreaser, and then we can go ahead and start with our body filler. So let's do that now. Okay, so I just mixed up some body filler. And if you don't know how to do that, you just want to get some out of the can, put it on your board, take a little piece of hardener, do a little line through it, mix it up until it's one color, and then you can go ahead and spread it on there. Okay everyone, so I'm just sanding everything down. So make sure you degrease everything, then go back through, sand every inch of the engine bay that you're going to paint. And yeah. Okay, so as you saw, I hit everything with sandpaper, and that was the 180 grit. Just make sure you get every single crease. So I got like under here, I got in here, all around these lips, everywhere that paint is going to touch, you have to scuff it. So just be very thorough, because this is like one of the most important steps. And as soon as you get all that scuffed down, we can go in now and hit it with a high build primer, and then we'll sand it again. Okay, now I'm just gonna take this degreaser, spray it down, and wipe it. I'm gonna fold my rag into 4 parts, and I'm just gonna keep alternating it so it's always clean. Do this as much as you need to, because this is a really important coat to get the primer on there nice and neat. And don't be cheap on the rags.
It's the bone that sits on the deltoid tuberosity, and muscles attached to it. And then here's the...
Okay, so what we've done, we went through, we've sanded everything down, whatever we need to take off. We've degreased the engine bay completely, and now we've sanded it with 180 grit and degreased it again. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that all air out, and I'm going to start masking off my windshield and my driver door here. And anything else you don't want overspray on, I would mask off. And then we can go ahead and start shooting our primer. Before that, we're just going to go ahead and use our tack cloth, go back through one time real quick, spray our high build primer, and then we can go ahead and let that cure. And then go back, sand the high build primer, scuff it up with the 320. I got everything masked off that I need masked off. And one more thing, make sure you're wearing a respirator. I went to go get one, but everywhere sold out. I looked online and everything, so it is what it is, I guess. I got a fan blowing out the garage door, and we're not paying much, so that's what I'm gonna do. It's definitely the wrong thing to do, but I don't really have much of a choice at this point. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and put the camera down and paint it. Just kind of the first coat is gonna be like a light tack coat, and then we're gonna do another coat on top of that, and then I think another coat. So 3 total. If we have enough paint. I only have 2 cans of the primer. No, 3. I have 3 cans, so we should be able to do 3 coats. I'm not too worried about the bottom of the tubs. If I run out of paint, I'm gonna just use like an undercoating on those. If I can, I will, but it's not really priority, obviously. Not a show car, track car, so we're just preventing rust and trying to make it look better than it did. But yeah, I'm just gonna take the red cap off, put it on the bottom, pop it. After that, you shake the can for 2 minutes straight, then you're good to go. You have to paint within 24 hours after you do this point. So be sure that you're ready to paint, and do not forget to hit it with a tack cloth like I just about did.